guy actually, when he put the drapes up, he made 2 incisions like they normally do to start the operation. But after that, he didn't do anything, but he talked about it. And he actually put up a video, of somebody else's operation.
Oh, my God.
And the person, went through the operation. And so basically there was no operation. Now, they do, I think, 180,000 of these operations a year. And I forgot what the cost was. It was like 30,000, I guess, round number. I don't know what the heck it is, some big number. So you multiply 30,000 times 180,000, you can see how much money we spend. And it turned out, when the results came in, there was no difference in any of the experimental sets, including the sham operation, meaning the entire operation procedure was basically placebo effect. It had nothing to do with the operation at all. Matter of fact, the patients that just had the little incisions put in did exactly the same in the outcome as any of the patients that went through the entire procedure.
So this is about expectation, isn't it, and belief?
Exactly. It's about belief system. And I say, well, what is a placebo? Well, placebo is, I talk up this new drug. I got this, it's so new, it's purple. That's the most exciting drug color. That's the modern drug of anything. This purple, and it's going to heal you. Look how purple it is. It's so great. The patient's like, oh, wow, okay. And the doctor gives them this purple pill with the expectation that, oh, my God, this is the newest, greatest thing. And the significance is the person actually believes the doctor. Then they get well. And then later on you tell them, outside of the purple color, there was just a sugar pill. It was just sugar. And it's like, well, how'd you get well? We call it the placebo effect. And I go, wow, what does that mean? It's like the anticipation, the intention, the perception, the belief that healing is going to follow through by doing this is what led to the healing, not the actual drug or the medical intervention, such as the arthroscopic surgery. It was the belief that this is how you heal. And so it turned out it was the belief that healed. And this is called the placebo effect. Now, medicine has recognized a minimum of 1/3. So we start with a minimum of 1/3, and up to perhaps 2/3 of all medical interventions are actually the result of the placebo effect. Well, that's a real important number. 1/3, the minimum, says the entire healthcare bill of this nation, 1/3 of it is equivalent to a sugar bill, and look how much we're paying for it. It's placebo. And then I say, well, that's really nice, and people understand the placebo effect, and they're excited about it. And basically what it really says is your mind healed you because of a belief that it had. I'll give you another placebo that's amazing.
Please do.
It's called Prozac. Prozac in a laboratory test is no different than a sugar pill.
Are you serious?
Absolutely. It's reported. It's actually in the scientific journals. The information, of course, was hard to come by because the drug companies did not want to release it. So Erwin Kirsch, a psychologist, University of Connecticut, actually had to go through the Freedom of Information Act to get the test data. And the test data revealed that there was no difference in taking the Prozac or the placebo. But Prozac has a wonderful enhancement factor to placebo for this reason. Regular sugar pill has, you just take a sugar pill. Now it's just totally your belief that something's happening. I believe it. I took the pill. Prozac has a little side effect that you can feel tingly in your body. Something's going on. Guess what? The little side effect enhances the placebo effect. Not only did I take the pill, but I feel it's working. That's like now a double proof that I've done something. And so it works even more effective than a plain sugar pill to some degree because of that side effect. Again, it's only an enhancement of the belief that did that. Okay, so now we talk about 1/3 to 2/3 of all healing comes from the placebo effect, and now comes the monkey wrench that throws everything out, and that is, well, that's the result of a positive belief. Is there any influence of a negative belief? And the answer is absolutely, and it's equally powerful. Equally powerful, so that a negative belief, a positive belief can heal you and from terminal illness, and a negative belief can actually cause you to get sick and can kill you. And it's called in the science community a nocebo effect. And why is that important? It's the power of belief that controls. The direction of the control is based on whether it's a positive belief or a negative belief, but they're equally powerful. And I say, why is that important? Because, well, we work hard to generate the placebo effect, but all of us are walking around almost constantly in a nocebo belief system. We're almost all walking around, well, this isn't going to work, and this is hard, and this, oh my God, expect the worst, and this blah, 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 blah. And the point about it is this. if the positive thoughts were the ones that healed you, well, then what the heck do you think all the negative thoughts are doing? And the answer is they're causing the illness and diseases.
I think you said in your book, In Spontaneous Evolution, 70% of our thoughts are negative and redundant.
Yes, this is a psychological assessment. So it says, as you move forward in your life, what chemistry are you sending to the cells in regard to the chemistry that could provide growth and health in the tissue culture called the skin-covered dish? Or is it chemistry that undermines the health of these cells? And the answer is, what are your thoughts? And when we start to recognize that 70% of them are negative and redundant, then you start to recognize, oh my God, how can we keep trying to lead ourselves to health, and yet at the same time we keep shooting ourselves in the foot with our thoughts?
Well, I have an interesting dilemma to bring to you. I have a dear friend of mine who found out a year ago that she has a tumor behind her nose. At first they said they don't know what it is. They think it's cancerous. They're not sure. They tried to go in, but even when they didn't know it was cancer, they wanted to do chemo and they wanted to radiate. Okay, so this is a person who believed in complementary medicine, who was into all kinds of anti-aging and other types of remedies. The instant she got connected in with these oncologists, everything she supposedly believed that she transmitted to me went by the wayside. All of a sudden, the doctors were gods. They were the ones who she was going to listen to. She put herself through radiation and chemo, almost died several times because they overdosed her.
Yep.
And I connected her in with someone who does hyperbaric oxygen treatments. It was going to give her 30 treatments. She started her treatments. She was so sick after radiation and chemo, but she started to feel great. The healing started. 5 treatments in, she goes back to her doctor, and the doctor says, well, some types of cancers don't really like oxygen, so we just don't know if that's the one you have. Guess what? She quit all the hyperbaric oxygen treatments, stopped everything. And the doctor said to her, and we may need to go in and cut this now because you could be dead in 6 months.
Oh, yeah. A diagnosis of anything that says you can't do something about it means when you buy that belief, then by definition you will manifest exactly what that belief says. And that's an interesting point of how are physicians so accurate to know when somebody's going to die? And the answer is because they're the ones that set the date.
Exactly. Well, see, it's so powerful. When you talked about in your book that children 0 through 6 live in the theta, almost like a hypnotic trance, and that their subconscious is on autopilot for taking in information, it's obvious to me that when doctors speak to patients, people are in a trance and accept whatever's said to them very much like a child 0 through 6 does. Do you agree?
Absolutely. That's the whole idea of it. Look, you see, we have the conscious mind, which is the creative mind connected to your personal identity, your spirit, who you are. We have the subconscious mind, which has programs. The conscious mind is the creative mind. The subconscious mind is the habit mind. The habits were put in primarily before 6, the fundamental habits. Now think about it. Go back to the conventional family. When anybody in the family is sick, what is the first directive? And the first directive, we got to take so-and-so to the doctor. Mommy has to go to the doctor. Billy, you have to go to the doctor. You are sick. Now, I say, why is this important? Because during the first 6 years of your life, you're being programmed. You have an innate ability to heal yourself. That was already built in. Look, people healed themselves for 1,000,000 years before there were medical schools. There was healing going on all the time. And the fact is you are innately capable of healing. But now you put a belief system in. And what's the belief system? As a child learns in that first 6 years, anytime anybody's sick, it's not up to that person to heal themselves. If they're sick, they have to go to the doctor. So now what is the program? The program says if I am sick, before I heal myself, I have to go to the doctor. And there's another program the same thing goes along with it, because think about this as well. When you were a child, we were programmed to believe there are professionals who know stuff and we don't. So
exactly.
If you're a professional, then they know and you don't. So now you have the doctor who is in charge of your health and the professional. Okay, so now why is this relevant? Because here's the joke. How many people, and so many listeners out there are probably very familiar with this, get sick, say, okay, I got to go to the doctor. On the way to the doctor or in the doctor's office, all of a sudden they start to feel good again. And that's, the numbers are vast. And I said, why is that so? And the answer was, you were capable of healing yourself before the program. The program said, okay, you can heal yourself, but before you start the healing, you have to go to the doctor. And the joke part, which I really love, is because people say we have to take you to the doctor, but nobody said the doctor had to do anything. You what do? We have to take you to the doctor. That's the fun part. It's like, oh, if I just go to the doctor.